Hi, my name is Vanessa Diffenbaugh, and I'm the author of The Language of Flowers. This book is about a young woman named Victoria, and she's learned in her life to communicate through the language of flowers. She has trouble communicating with the world because she's been so hurt in her childhood, and this is the one way that she can communicate with others. Victoria grew up in a series of foster homes, and there was only one place that she lived for a year, and everywhere else she was in and out, more homes than she could count. But when she was 10 years old, it was kind of her last chance to get adopted, and she was placed with a single woman on a vineyard in Northern California named Elizabeth, and this woman taught her to communicate through the language of flowers. The language of flowers is just something I discovered. You know, I was 16 and I was in this great used bookstore. I would go there most days after school and just walk through the aisles. It was one of those bookstores where nothing was organized and you had to literally, duck through these huge rows of books. And one day I was in the children's book section where I love to be, and I pulled out Kate Greenaway's Language of Flowers, which is a beautiful illustrated book from the 1800s. And it's this list of flowers and their definitions that people use to communicate secret messages. For example, most people know rose means love. I was just fascinated by it instantly. I loved the idea that you could communicate without words. I like the thoughtfulness that goes into that kind of communication. What's interesting about the language of flowers is the more that I learn about it, the more that I realize it isn't what I thought it was when I started this book. So one thing that happens in my book is Elizabeth says to Victoria when she's young that the flowers are non-negotiable. They have their meaning and that's it, and she's lived her whole life that way. And halfway through the book she realizes there's actually more than one definition for almost every flower. And I discovered it right along with Victoria, and I was shocked and also disappointed, as Victoria is, because Victoria feels like this is one thing she knows to be true and one thing that she understands, and here it is slipping out from under her. So the issue of foster care in our country is something that's really important to me. My husband and I have mentored a lot of kids in foster care. There was one young woman we worked with, and she did, more than anyone else, probably inspire Victoria. She'd been in the foster care system since she was born. On her birth certificate there was a number where her name should have been, and she doesn't even know who named her. She was never anywhere for more than a year, and she was such a beautiful, smart, passionate young woman, and completely unpredictable. And as much as we loved her, I just could never get over the sense that she really, really struggled to love us back, as much as she wanted to, and I know she did. She struggled with that. This young woman, I would say, really, more than anyone else, inspired the idea behind the book, which was, what is it like to try to love if you've never been loved yourself?